Hey everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. As you know, your mans and them loves a flashlight. And today we have the Wuben E8. This is a 1300 lumen flashlight. We're gonna open it up, take a look at it, and test it out. So here we go. All right, let's just take a quick look around this box before we get it open. We can see this is the Wuben E8. It has a 1300 max lumen output. It has 109 meter max beam and a 2 watt max UV light, which I guess could be kind of cool. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not sure what I'd use a UV light for, but maybe I'll have to look it up and see if it can be useful for me. So on this side, we can see it's FL1 standard. 10 lumen to 1300 lumens. I believe that 10 lumen is going to be down for like the like moonlight mode. And then we have, it says it can go from 1 minute to 36 hours. So I guess if you're using the max brightness, I guess you only get maybe about a minute and then it probably dims. It's probably not going to kill your battery in a minute, but after like a minute at 1300 lumens, I think it probably dims down to prevent overheating. So we also have, again, 109 meters. So there we have it. And you can see here, it's going to say, again, just some of the main specs. So for the main light, it's going to go from, it's going to go 10 lumens on low, 150 on medium, and then 350 on high, or 1300 lumens, which I think is going to be like a turbo mode or something. And it's going to show 30 hours on low, 3.5 hours on medium, and then 1 minute or 1.5 hours, depending on which high mode you have it on. And then it says it's going to be 5.5 hours, I guess it shows over here for the UV light. So, and then again, the UV light shows 109 meters. Not sure about that, but we'll see. This one says 3000 CD, not sure what that is, 1.5 meters. So, and apparently there's a side light on here as well. That there's a beacon and then low and then high, and then it's 30 lumens, 15, and 50 lumens, and you can get 36 hours, 17 hours, or 4.5 hours depending on which mode you're in there. So, and it weighs about 2.4 ounces without the battery, 70.5 grams, and then 90 grams with the battery, or 3.17 ounces. So, all right. Let's get this thing out of the package here and see what this light actually looks like. And there we go. Get that going. And let's see here. Oop, it looks like we have some more tape on there. So let's see if we can cut through that there. I think I got it. And there we go. All right. And we have our user guide here, or user manual if we need this, so you can understand how to use the light. We'll put that aside for the moment. And this is the light. Look at that. It looks really cool. And I can see why it has sort of like these frosted sides there, because they do have those side lights. So it looks like there's 1, 2, 3. So it looks like there's like 3 lights on there. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So, and here it says, please remove battery installation sheet for before using. So let's go ahead, we'll take that off. We'll just stick that right there. And then we need to remove this. So let's see, how do we get the battery? I guess that's the power button there. How do we get the battery door open? We will have to be smarter than the light. All right, we'll figure this out in just a moment. Normally you just twist these things and they come right off, but this thing is a little bit different here. It does show the battery like right there, but I'm not sure exactly. Oh, there we go. This does twist. It just, you have to grab it a little bit and then it twists off. And then there's the battery, and there's the battery insulation thing there. So it looks like just oh, this is very cool. It looks just like a little, it looks like a little AA battery, but it does have a USB-C port on there, so you can actually charge this up via a USB cable. So let me just grab this. I have just a USB-C cable plugged in. I can plug that right there, plug it right on in, and you'll notice that there is a red light there glowing because it's actually charging this up. That is clever. That is really clever. Man, I kind of wish I had all AA batteries like that. That's really slick. I like that. All right, let's put that back in there, and then we'll set this back in and tighten that down. And now if we push this, there we go. Now we're getting our light lit up there. So I'm not exactly sure how to get this thing to turn on the side light. We're gonna have to figure that out. I might actually have to read the manual. Let's see if I push and hold that, see if anything happens. Let's see, let's push it again. No. Let me see if I double tap. No. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to read the manual, I guess, and see. I don't see any other switches or buttons or anything on here, but somehow this side light is gonna be activated. So, all right, we'll figure that out. We also have inside here, it looks like, let's see. It says pull this. All right. Well, pulled that. Well, when I can't get stuff open, generally I just rip it, because if you make stuff too complicated, it just gets ripped open. So there's that. And it looks like in here there's going to be a couple of gaskets and some other sort of metal piece that maybe they're sort of replacement parts. It says spare O-rings when the original ones on the flashlight are worn or torn. So there's that. We have a USB-C to USB-C cable, very nice. And then we have a wrist strap that actually has a cinch on it as well, so that we can put this around our wrist. So, okay, very nice. I like it. Wuben always seems to hook us up with good accessories, and I appreciate that. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead now and just play with this light for a minute and see if I can figure out how to turn on all the lights. And then I'm gonna go outside because it's actually dark already. So I'm gonna go outside and just see what this looks like. Actually, I might just shoot it from the balcony across the street and see what it looks like, since it is 1300 lumens, and see if I can get this thing really lit up brightly. And yeah, so see you in a second. Okay, so I went and sat down and figured out how to use this thing, and I have to say, I have mixed feelings about it. It's pretty cool. I mean, I do like the fact they have side lights. I like the fact there's a UV light on there. I'm just not really a fan of the operation of this light and how you actually activate those modes. So basically, you have the button here on the back, and you push that once. This actually turns the light on, and then if you just tap it, don't push it all the way down, just tap it, it cycles through the various modes. And you can see how it goes from low to medium to high. Now, I'm not sure when I get to that highest point, that 1300 lumens, but it goes low, medium, high. Now, back over here on the light, you can see you have these side lights that are not activated right now. To get them activated, you have to push this button, or tap the button, I should say, 4 times. So you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and oop, that actually I think is a turbo mode. So let's go again. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's where I'm having trouble. 2, 3, 4, and sometimes I get it. There we go. So now we have it on, and it doesn't always. I don't always get it, which is sort of frustrating. And then if you push it again, you'll see it stays on. It goes from flashing to staying on, and then if you tap it again 3 or 4 times, you get the UV mode, and that can be really helpful if you need some UV light, I guess, there. So, and then when you tap it again, you can go back into your regular light. There you go. Now you're back into the regular flashlight part, and you can cycle through your regular modes. And to turn it off, you just tap it to turn it off, and there you have it. So, and you can see there is a pocket clip. So the pocket clip is nice and sturdy. You can put this on a coat pocket, a jacket pocket, pant pocket, whatever. It's going to work nicely. And these do come off. So you may notice right here that they do have the strip right there. And these are sort of like a frosted yellow or orange or something. So if you want to have a brighter, more whiter light, you can take all of these off, and then you will have that light there. Let me turn that on. And you'll see there, it's going to have that there. And then you can turn it up a little bit, and it'll flash. And then you can go back to your UV light, and then regular light again. And to put these back on, because again, they're magnetic. They just snap on very, very quickly and easily. So, all right. It is pouring rain outside, so because I've been sick, I'm not gonna go stand out in the rain. I'm just gonna go hop in my closet over here where it turned the lights off, and we're gonna see how it fills up the space with the light and how it looks. Okay, so I'm in my closet here. Let's go ahead and turn the light on to low. And there we have it. So that is the low mode. You can see it moving around there. Let's go ahead and tap it to go medium. And you can see medium is putting out a fair amount of light. It does do a nice job of illuminating stuff so you can see what's going on. And if we tap it again, now that super bright mode, that is just kind of crazy. That is really lighting up the whole area. If I just point this up at the ceiling, and I have enough light that I could do what I needed to do. So if I needed to just light up a space, I could do that just by bouncing this light off of the ceiling. And if I point it directly at stuff, it's going to be very, very bright. And if I turn this off, you can see it goes pretty much to complete darkness again. Now, I'm going to turn this thing down, and I'll put it on medium there. And I'm going to go ahead and just put in the, whatchamacallit mode, if I can get it in. There we go. And now we can see here, if we can get that in, we can see we have the side lights on, and we can get there. We can get that flashing, and if I tap it a few times, we can get the UV light going. If we can try and get the UV light, mess around and give someone a stroke in here. That's the UV light. So you can see it's decent. I mean, it is definitely decent. It puts out a fair amount of light. But yeah, and then if we tap it again, we can get back to our regular light. So, but as you can see, it's a lot of clicks to cycle through, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. All right, well, there you go. That is my look at the Wuben E8, and I have to say, I do like the light. I mean, it's a great flashlight, but it's got some hiccups. Like, I'm not a big fan of the light operation itself. Like, I don't like all the button clicks. I would much rather there be maybe a separate switch. Trying to do everything with one button is just a lot. Like, it would make sense if they put a separate switch on here for like the side light and the UV light. That would be very helpful. That way then this back button is only used to turn the light off and on and cycle through the main light modes. And then when you have the other switch activated to put it into either UV mode or into side light mode, you can then tap that back button again to cycle through the brightness levels of those modes. That would be very helpful. But instead, everything is running off of that one switch, and it is kind of a hassle. Not a big fan of that. So anyways, I think it's still a very nice light, and I'm going to leave a link to it down below in the video description so that you can check it out. I'm also going to leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.